Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Magic. Have you ever felt that sometimes the simplest moments can feel much deeper than they appear? The latest video of Park Jimin and Jungkook on SakuSaku HimuHimu, Oshino Furu Yoru may look relaxed on the surface. But if you really pay attention, there are so many small details quietly holding a deeper meaning. From heartfelt expressions of gratitude, news about their departure to Japan, to spontaneous and natural interactions. Everything feels like pieces of a puzzle forming something that's hard to put into words. And what's interesting is that it's not what they clearly show, but rather what's almost invisible that feels the most significant. In this video, we're going to break down those small moments, ones that might be easily overlooked, but actually hold a much deeper story than we might expect. This video presents an atmosphere that seems light and casual, yet when observed more closely, the small details make the entire moment feel far more meaningful. From the very beginning, a warm atmosphere is already present. Jung Kook sincerely expresses his gratitude for being invited and given the opportunity to perform, while Jimin casually shares that they will soon depart for Japan to continue their tour with BTS. This simple conversation feels special because it shows their genuine side. No pressure, no dramatization. Just two people who are comfortable with each other, sharing small moments with a sense of real honesty. Their presence in Japan also increases fans' excitement. Every member looks amazing, but attention once again returns to the dynamic between Jimin and Jungkook. Even before their departure, Jimin had shared a post that seemed to hint at the moments to come. If you look more closely, there are small details that stand out, like the pants Jungkook wore, which looked very similar to the ones Jimin wore during soundcheck. To some, this may seem trivial, but to those who pay attention, it feels like a recurring pattern. Sharing clothes is nothing new for them. Fans have often noticed them wearing the same items at different times. Interestingly, although Jungkook is known to be quite protective of his personal belongings, this seems different when it comes to Jimin, suggesting a level of comfort and trust that isn't ordinary. From here, various possibilities often become topics of speculation. Perhaps they spent time together before departure, maybe even in simple situations like Jungkook staying over at Jimin's place and casually wearing his clothes the next day. For them, it might feel completely normal. But from an outside perspective, small details like this often carry added meaning, especially since they have shared stories before that reflect their closeness. Like when Jimin mentioned that Jungkook once came over after a long trip and cooked for him. These moments suggest that there's so much more happening behind the scenes that the public never sees. However, this also shows how every small detail about them is often overanalyzed. Sometimes, there are unspoken standards from certain fans about how they should interact on camera. When those expectations aren't met, it can lead to unnecessary speculation. In reality, human relationships, including within a group like BTS, are influenced by many factors. The previous year wasn't easy, with various pressures and rumors circulating. After completing their military service, they seem more relaxed, but ironically, speculation has increased. In situations like this, it's natural for them to be more cautious, not because something is wrong, but as a form of self-protection. Regardless, the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook still shows a strong depth. It doesn't need a specific label, but it's clearly built from time, shared experiences, and a long journey together. And because it's valuable, not every aspect needs to be shown publicly. Moments like those seen in Are You Sure? Feel special because they show a more relaxed and natural side of them. Without pressure, they laugh, talk, and enjoy each other's presence in simple ways. Something that often feels more meaningful than big, planned moments. A similar dynamic appears in their recent interview with Rolling Stone. What's evident isn't tension, but rather how some people twist situations to fit certain narratives. For example, the issue about Jimin supposedly attacking Jungkook regarding high vocal range. When viewed in full context, the conversation was actually relaxed and full of mutual appreciation. In a group that has worked together for years, this is completely normal. Each member has unique strengths, and acknowledging them doesn't automatically create competition. Jungkook's response clearly contradicts that narrative. He didn't look uncomfortable at all. In fact, he casually pointed to Jimin as having the highest vocal range, which was later supported by Jin, who emphasized Jimin's vocal contribution. This moment reflects a healthy dynamic. No awkwardness, no sense of rivalry. What stands out instead is genuine mutual respect. The interview atmosphere becomes lighter when discussing the song 7. When asked if Jung Kook felt embarrassed about the explicit version, Jimin casually said he didn't think so. Jung Kook responded just as casually, showing confidence and comfort in himself as an artist. When shifting to concert clips, their dynamic becomes even more interesting. On stage, the energy is more intense, yet small details still appear. For instance, when Jimin interacts with RM while adjusting his outfit, Jung Kook appears more serious, as if his focus briefly shifts. But when Jung Kook watches Jimin dance, his expression softens instantly. A smile appears naturally, and he even follows the rhythm for a moment. There's a brief pause where he seems lost in thought before returning to the choreography. Another interaction happens when Jimin playfully avoids J-Hope's approach, creating a light and fun atmosphere. This happens in front of Jung Kook, who again watches with a more serious expression. But shortly after, when Jimin sits close to him, the atmosphere becomes warm again. There's also a subtle moment where Jung Kook shifts Suga slightly to be closer to Jimin. It's quick and almost unnoticeable, but followed by a small, satisfied smile. One of the most intense moments happens when they make eye contact while singing the line, "Yeah, I'm lost. Can I come over?" Their direct gaze, combined with soft smiles, creates a feeling that goes beyond just a performance. There's also a moment where Jung Kook pauses just to watch Jimin dance. His gaze looks soft and focused, as if following every movement. In the end, Jimin returns the look with meaning, an interaction without words, yet clearly felt. Another interesting moment is when Jung Kook makes a love gesture. It initially seems directed at fans, but at that exact moment, Jimin passes right in front of him. This coincidence makes it feel personal and warm. All these interactions feel powerful precisely because they don't seem planned. Nothing feels exaggerated or forced. That's where their strength lies. Small, spontaneous moments often leave the deepest impression. In the end, it's not about how big or obvious a moment is, but how sincere small moments can leave the strongest impact. Jimin and Jung Kook's interactions this time remind us that real connections don't always need to be shown in grand ways. Sometimes the simplest things are the most honest. If you feel the same way, don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious which moments stood out the most to you. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with fellow ARMY so we can keep discussing more interesting moments on Jikook Magic. See you in the next video.